general nerdery.
So I acknowledge that, like, how algorithms work and how, like, the phone picks up things going on around you and kind of morphs your algorithm to fit that is creepy as all fucking get out. Like, I now know that I started watching Farscape clips on YouTube because the 25th anniversary is coming up, and I watch sci-fi clips. So it was like, you would like these. And then that led to us doing this show. And then that led to them being like, oh, you've mentioned Farscape. We're going to send you articles, like clickbait, about Farscape now. I recognize that all of that is, like, bad in a Big Brother way. But from a learning information so I can talk about this show better for this podcast, it's actually really kind of helpful.
But it's also bad in that it sometimes makes me watch Dude, Where's My Car?
I'm not claiming it's good. I opened with, I acknowledge this is bad.
It's so good because then it gets Steven to talk about Dude, Where's My Car?
That was
and makes me
my
kind of want to rewatch Dude,
kind
Where's
of
My Car.
highlight of this
Currently
episode
on
so
Hulu,
far.
and Tyler, don't do it. Don't do it.
Sultan.
I was very stoned and I did not enjoy it. It was a bad time.
Well, now I almost want to do an episode on it just because we are the podcast about liking things and making Steven look for shit that he liked in this movie.
Oh, Sean William Scott.
Fair.
Done and done.
I like that the guy who did this later did Harold and Kumar.
Oh, Steven will find the bright side. I can do it.
Okay. Farscape.
First half, season 2.
Yeah, first half, season 2.
Little over half?
Yes, because it turns out that they did a 3-parter in the middle of the series that would be the season finale for most other shows.
Which feels so wild for, like, and I'm curious to know if I just never really did other shows do this at a point? It feels like a thing that the CW did for, like, mid-season.
The Flash did it really hard. Flash and Arrow would do stuff like that.
Yeah, those tended to be 2-parters, which I did read. This was written as a 2-parter, and the studio was like, "Oh, we want to make this a 3-parter," and they were like, "Cool," and they wrote 14 extra scenes that they sprinkled throughout it to make it long enough to be a 3-parter.
Well, that explains why Crichton randomly bangs the spy lady.
And apparently all those scenes were done by a different director than the rest of the episode.
Weird.
God, I could do an episode just on that. But, like, the thing that really stuck with me of, like, the article that I was reading made me think about this. Because we talked last time about how I wasn't fully sure how much of this was planned out and how much was spur of the moment. And it turns out basically all of it was spur of the moment, which you had said a little bit.
Right. The main thing that was planned was the Crichton-Aaron relationship. And not the exact how it was going to happen, just the fact that it was going to happen.
Yeah. But the amount that apparently it started with Crackers Don't Matter, which is a fucked up episode that we will kind of get to. But they went, hey, what if we just, like, didn't magically erase this at the end of the episode and start really leaning into, you know, like in Next Gen, Picard will get kidnapped and tortured by Cardassians in attempts to brainwash him, and the next episode he's fine.
And then in a few episodes later, he then lives an entire lifetime where he has a wife and children and dies of old age and experience an entire alien life forms.
Fantastic episode, by
fantastic.
the way.
Learns to play the flute in the span of...
And that's the one fallout, that Picard now knows the flute. But they're like, what if we have... And as my wife put it, this show is just watching PTSD pile up on PTSD going forward.
And they just keep trying to outrun the PTSD.
But credit to it, it brings out better performances in the actors the more that they're, like, leaning into this. It turns out if you tell Ben Browder, just go apeshit and chew the scenery, he understands the fucking assignments.
Oh, yeah. Especially in this first half of this second season, you get a lot more of that. In the 3 Crichtons episode or whatever it is.
Oh my god.
And then also in the the Crackers episode. I've already forgotten the title of the episode.
Crackers Don't Matter. I only know because the article was titled "Crackers Don't Matter: How It Changed the Show" or something like that. Like,
yes, but like his interactions with the illusion of Scorpius.
Yeah, Scorpy is what he calls him, so that's what.
Which is why I was stumbling on it. Fucking delightful.
Or
also, I will say,
the scene in the 3-parter where he's like holding the gun to his head, being like, "Kill me, I dare you. You'll die too," or something like.
I do find one problem with the entire season though, and that's that he says the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard, and that it's people don't eat pizza with margaritas.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
I don't remember.
People eat pizza with margaritas all the time.
Yo, pizza's great with everything.
I don't
margaritas
remember
are delightful.
Scene. What's the? Where does he say this?
It's fucking. He's about to. The illusion of Scorpius is trying to tell him to kill Aaron, and he says like, kill her, and then we'll go get pizza and margarita shooters, and that's the thing that's like. People don't eat pizza and margarita shooters. So then he shoots the illusion of Scorpius, and he turns into a bunch of smaller Scorpiuses, and it was like, oh, I was going crazy. It's like, no.
See,
I have other problems sheltered
with that.
life.
I have other problems with that episode, but okay. But literally, that scene, and we won't go too much into it because it doesn't develop yet. That scene you're talking about changed the entire course of the show forever. Huh. I'm not going into it. We'll talk about it probably next episode, but like, yeah.
Okay.
Should we start at the beginning of the
season? Yeah, I guess
then?
I really like season 2 of most science fiction shows. Because season 1s tend to have really good episodes, really bad episodes, but, you know, they're still figuring their shit out. Usually by the beginning of season 2, they've kind of dialed in a bit, and you can definitely see it here. Like, Dargo is way less of a shithead. I mean, he's still Dargo.
They've had enough runway to really figure out where they're going.
I agree in general
More
for this
so.
season. I liked this season a whole lot more because it felt like it was more cohesive overall. They kind of knew what they were doing. Except this first episode, I was kind of wondering how long it had been since between production, because I felt like they weren't quite the characters that we left.
A little bit.
I agree with you.
Like I felt like they were relearning how to play the character really quick. That they were all like 90% there, but
I definitely see that.
I think part of it is they were trying to imply that time had passed. And in some cases that but it sits a little funny. I don't love this first episode. There's stuff I like about it. I think
right, Mind the Baby. Is the episode.
Which the Talon and Crace stuff, super fascinating.
Super fascinating. But like the fact that they try to make it feel like time has passed is so weird, considering that like
Dargo's been unconscious the whole time.
Dargo's been unconscious the whole time, and it's like you find out later that it's really only been basically like 20 days essentially that whole exchanges that they're lost essentially. When there's an episode where Zan and Crichton do a flashback where she is where they're off doing that. But like,
this was written and filmed as a 2-parter with that episode.
Oh.
And
that was supposed to be the first part. And then it was going to go straight into this.
So it was supposed to do the flashback episode and tell you where it's Zan and Rigel and
fucking... But probably not as a flashback. Probably just... That explains why those, like... They're the bits with Crichton and Zan in that scenes...
That
like,
makes so
are almost like
much
Crypt
more
Keeper
sense.
Episode, like... And then we see, like, I don't know.
Like, her disattachment is so fucking quick. And it definitely makes it feel like it has been a lot more time has passed in between season 1 to season 2. But, like, you find out it's been 20 fucking days at a certain point. It's, like, they put too fine a point on how much time passed for how much character.
I think I would have found both
is.
episodes a little stronger if they had done them in that order, and it explains a few things about the first episode. I do understand why I'm assuming the studio or someone was like, no, we need to open with like...
We need to get back to them and what they're doing
We
and
can't-
get there faster. We can't do a full episode that's a random legal drama on a planet where it turns out that everyone's a lawyer.
We'll get there. I do love how much that turns a classic Star Trek trope on its head. Like 6 Star Trek tropes. But part of the problem of this first episode is the season 1 finale cliffhanger is so strong. Like the last half of the end of the last episode of season 1 is every gun firing on all cylinders, and that did not work. But and and then we're just like, oh, Dargo's okay after all, and like we're just, hey, not everything's fine, obviously, but like
It's definitely like shit's a little fucked, but also like nothing we can't handle.
compared to how they left the stakes, it doesn't.
Of like, oh, Moya and the ship is fucked off, and you're in a prowler and can't get to us, and he's passed out and about to die, and you're on limited oxygen.
So there's an episode of Doctor Who when the 12th Doctor regenerates. It ends with him falling out of the TARDIS, and it was the writer and showrunner was leaving the show and admitted, I don't have a plan for how the next guy's going to solve this. This is like my baptism of fire for you. And honestly, they solve it really well by just crashes into through a train and gets up and is like, still regenerating, I'm fine. Like, so it rolls. This made me think of that because it almost feels like, here's our baptism of fire. How do we land this? And then, except Jodie's doctor, I hate to use this because falling from a thing, stuck the landing. This one doesn't quite, because it's just like, guess we're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't answer in a way that I find satisfying. But I did enjoy Dargo waking up, and I do think it's interesting that Dargo was like, we lived through all of that. We're besties now, is kind of like how I explain Dargo's character shift.
Yes. Also, like, I love him learning rock, paper, scissors in that episode. It's so, like, those little moments are some of my favorite things in the whole series so far.
Dargo, the actor who plays Dargo, is so good at dropping random, not understanding Earth things, but playing it completely straight. When, in the 3-parter, when he's told, hey, you have to be my best man, and then, like, awkward pause, I'm with Chiana now.
Yeah.
Like, God, that actor is really good. The episode itself, though, like, there's, other than the Talon and Cray stuff, is not a lot to write. They have to get everyone back together and kind of bring people together enough, like, back to normal enough that they can go back to their basic concept.
Yeah, really, Grace is the biggest thing in the episode, in all honesty, just like setting up that, okay, he's going to be not with the Peacekeepers anymore. He's just going to fuck off and be with Talon. And that's a whole thing that's going to be a thing. Scorpius is still here. He's still chasing John. He doesn't give a shit about Christ. Whatever. They're all back on Moya. We're back to one, everybody.
The directors talked about how, like, sounds like, I think they had intended Christ to be the big bad originally, like a lot more, which we weren't sure about whether Scorpius was always part of the plan. But just, you can only escape Christ so many times before you're not threatening.
Right.
We have to be careful how we do this with Scorpius, and they've done a pretty good job of not overusing Scorpius so far.
And I think the addition of having him form this relationship with Talon that, like, is a constant, like, now Moya wants to chase him as much as he wanted to chase them. But at this point, he doesn't really even want to chase. He does, like, kind of, he's over his fucking vendetta with.
He does get over that vendetta really fucking fast.
But I think, like, also in that first season episode where Maldus shows up, it's pretty fucking quickly like clear that, like, oh, he didn't kill my brother.
Yeah, well, that's maybe why it's weird to me, because he's like, yeah, I know it was an accident, doesn't matter, still gotta kill you. And then the moment he loses power, he's like, like,
I feel like it also, like, it does feel like a slowly, like, he realizes the diminishing returns of him trying to do this. There's just like, fuck, I am over it.
It's interesting that making Krace lose everything that he had kind of like almost reset his sanity.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe pulling him out, because Krace didn't necessarily want to be a peacekeeper. Like, we saw that he was not given a choice. So maybe there is something about him getting... I don't know. Krace remains one of my least favorite characters. I do think he's much more interesting with Talon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
His weird hitting on Aaron, I don't enjoy. It works for peacekeepers, but like...
It's always felt fucking weird because it always feels like he's like a fucking weird dad hitting on his daughter.
That's exactly what it is. It's 100%.
And
it's the power dynamics that they used to have.
yeah, I think that's 100.
Also,
thank you so much for verbalizing what I could not figure out a way to.
Also, it's the fact that she left him in the Aurora chair with it just like cranked up to maximum an episode ago, like, which is basically putting him in eternal torment. And I was like, hey, baby.
Yeah.
You want to help me make this Leviathan work and maybe fuck?
I liked when you tortured me. Do we find out he just has a torture kink?
I don't know, man. It's interesting how little of this show I remember. That said, that actor is incredible. Just the range he has between doing Krace and playing Pilot.
Right?
And holy shit, I don't know if they upgraded the Pilot puppet or if they just got really fucking good at utilizing
I was
him.
wondering the same thing. Pilot looked really fucking good.
And like,
I'm betting they probably updated the Pilot puppet based solely on the episode where you have
the underneath,
and like you need to see more of the Pilot puppet. That I feel like they maybe built another one to give more functionality.
and like the scenes between just Zan and Pilot this season,
Mm-hmm.
there's one bit where they're like both crying and she's like touching it and I'm just like, I want to hug the puppet.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they upgraded.
Rigel has a little more range too. I think they might have been able to like, because it's way cheaper to just tweak a puppet than to build one from scratch. I have to assume.
I know this wouldn't necessarily affect much of the puppet stuff because it would be a different crew working on it. But a different visual effects team does take over in this season and finishes through the rest of the series.
Interesting.
CGI is better this season.
Mm-hmm.
Much better. Like noticeably much better this season.
Way less fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes to Vetus Mortis, which was the Oracan.
Dargo fucks and Lady Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dargo fucks an old woman on her deathbed until she's young. And then
It's that Mom and Eddie Shadow Man magic.
It's a fun Dargo episode. It also might explain some of his like calming down, as CC puts it. He might have just really needed to come really bad.
I was watching this episode and I'm like,
does he not fuck in the first season? I feel like he fucks in the first
he
season.
does, but only when he's being like on that mind-controlled planet where he works all day and then parties and fucks all night.
Oh, yeah.
I was
He
thinking
doesn't
this
remember
episode
that
though.
fuck. That
Oh yeah, that one.
So it's like orgasming without coming.
But I was thinking this episode, I'm like, that must be some amazing sex for how dedicated he is to her in 3 hours.
That is also just a 90s TV thing. I met you this episode. I fell in love with you. We'll be gone by the end of the 45-minute mark. Like, it drives me up a wall. I do think...
Although I feel like it was implied in the episode that like he's also benefiting from, like, it turns out that she didn't steal this power from Dargo. She stole it from Moya and regenerated herself through that way. But it also feels like they are implying in the episode that like Dargo's also benefiting from this.
I didn't necessarily get that. I think
Like
that,
he says at one point, like, I've never felt this good in my life.
well, yeah, that's because he just came really hard.
Oh, that makes sense.
But I mean, also like this is the first time he's seen another Luxon in like 8 years. I think they
It's
said.
the only time a female Luxon's seen on screen.
And she looks fucking weird. And this is like the high holy of high holies of the Luxon species. So like just the way it seems like Luxon society is set up, he's already going to be super loyal to her. And then he also
He's getting to fuck Lux and Zan.
What's What's one spot below a pope?
A bishop?
Cardinal.
Cardinal? So he's basically fucking a Luxon cardinal?
He's kind of banging Doctor Strange's teacher.
Good for him.
Yeah, kind of.
So, quick side note, other than Dargo comes a lot, this episode is basically...
Dargo comes a lot this season.
Yes.
Dargo.
Oh my god.
Dargo fucks this
I
season.
warned you guys this show is horny. They just...
Also, I think Dargo fucks in the body swap episode. I would put money on they didn't show it, but he fucked. Someone fucked in his body, whether or not he did.
Moving on. They hear tell of another Lux, and Dargo goes to meet them. It's some old lady mystic, and he is supposed to help her with some ceremony where she dies. The details don't super matter, but instead of using her mystic energy in this death ceremony, she tries to take some of Dargo's life energy to make herself young again, but accidentally connects to Moya.
See, now I
Instead.
feel like this episode was at times trying to imply that she did that part on purpose and was just trying to wait out the clock till it was too late for it to matter anymore, and it did a really bad job of doing that.
I feel
like
that she meant to, but part of her was pretty okay with it once it happened.
I feel like it's implied. Yeah, I feel like you're right. They don't really hard imply any one direction. What I was getting is like she was okay with stealing this from Dargo, thinking it was his power. Fully aware, I think she'd be fully aware of the possibility that it would kill him to take this power from him, but is only willing to do it because she senses this great power in him. Once she does take it from Moya, then she's like, But
even then she has the like, I didn't mean to, and like possibly, and then like trying to find solutions, but then bounces back and forth between that and
I don't want to die.
yeah, like I am a pope. Does it like, aren't I more important than this random fucking ship or whatever?
No.
Yeah, I know, but I have very little sympathy for her. It does seem to be a, like, trying to explore the fear of dying, but making me not give a fuck because I don't really like this woman.
Yeah, especially when it's like, oh, I don't want to die, so I'm okay with killing someone. It was like, oh, that's bad, lady.
I like Dargo in this episode. I like his character growth from, like, the guy that cut off Pilot's arm and did not apologize
To a guy who comes a lot.
to a guy who's like, we can't kill Pilot. He's my buddy. And also rude.
Well, I was going to say, that's the other, I would say the big takeaway from this episode is we get that drop that like Moya dies, Pilot dies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, definitely way more between the connection between Moya and Pilot in this season.
I also enjoy Crichton in this episode a lot, even though he doesn't have much to do other than not be trusting. But that's kind of an interesting shift in its own right, because we've always seen Crichton pretty, like, as we said, he desperately wants to be in Star Trek, and he keeps not getting to be in Star Trek, and he's starting to shift away from that. Crichton goes into that chair at the end of season 1. He's never the same when he comes out, and I think you can kind of, whether intentional or not, tie it to that moment. Like, he's increasingly unhinged as the show goes along. And, I mean, he even asks in, I think the next episode, but I don't remember, we're talking to Erin, he's like, am I acting weirder than normal? And she makes a joke of like, well, normal? Like, nah, you're always fucking weird. But, like, he is kind of starting from this episode onwards, more unhinged as he goes through shit, and a lot more willing to just shoot somebody.
Oh, way more itchy trigger finger. I do also really like that for the most part, even though he's like very untrusting in this episode, he is very much just like, Dargo, my dude, I get it. Wild cum session. You deserve it.
We have not said come this much in every episode of the show leading up to this one versus the last 20 minutes.
I get it. I feel you. But we got Chiana in the ship. Come on, man.
Well, and I mean, okay, jokes aside, it's not even just that, because he goes in on the old lady, like, ready to fight her, but then he does understand where she's coming from. As much as he's not as trusting as he was, as much as he's much more willing to shoot people, he's not losing that empathy that has made him a compelling character up to this point.
Unrelated, but semi-related, I that is a thing that I'm very fascinated with in this show, in the context of, like, we're being seen, or we're being shown, like, sort of like religious magic stuff, like religious rituals and like stuff that borders on supernatural and magic.
Any other show would just say psychic and then do whatever magic shit they want and say it's psychic.
But yeah, basically fucking Maldus is
Basically magic, yeah.
Basically magic.
Zan is a D&D cleric. Like, we know this.
And like, but they never really like question it or anything or make it a big deal. It's just like, oh yeah, she just did a ritual.
The Maldus episode, any Maldus episode, there's a part of me where I'm like, Crichton should be
responding stronger to this.
Yeah.
I guess,
and I think that is also a part of why he does respond so strongly towards the female Luxon in this episode, is that he's a scientist. This is just a fucking random woman who says she's
weird
like
weird magic shit
and like is gonna do rituals. Like, it is a little fucked up that like he does know it's a death ritual. It's probably, he should just assume it's a funeral.
I guess that when you get sent through a wormhole and then land on a living ship, you just have to become pretty willing to accept whatever the fuck is gonna come up.
Except bullshit.
Like, well, normal's never happened to me again.
Taking the Stone.
I don't like this episode.
This is probably the one that I played the most Marvel Snap during.
Yeah, same. It was the least interesting episode for me, and it's a bummer in that like
Chiana's having a lot of emotional issues, but like they didn't present it in a way that I cared.
It's
like I care about Chi, but
like, yeah, it's a real bummer that your brother died. I haven't been shown him at all.
I will say
we barely talked about him.
We learn a lot about Chi in ways that make her make a lot more sense the moment that we find out some of the stuff we find out here. That she's got a brother, that she was super close. They fled the Nabari culture together. They got separated. That adds so much context to what little we know of how she survived since then. And then he dies, and she has now basically lost, like, I don't want to say her connection to her people, because she fucking hates her people, but, like,
the only family, like, biological family she has.
The touchstone that she had. So the fact that it's a weird stone thing inside of her is a little on the nose. But that said, we then go down to weird radiation, drunken early suicide planet that kind of feels a little Mad Maxy for me, but like,
I kept thinking
not one
of the
good
fucking
Mad
music
Max
video
stuff.
for Firestarter.
I feel like there was a good episode in here that it just never quite finds.
And Aaron is a real fucking asshole to Chiana.
At first, but then she shifts to like really understand. Aaron goes from like, fuck you, Chiana, let's just ditch her, to like, Crichton, you have to understand what Chiana's going through. Instantaneously, and in a way that I never quite understood. But it could be because I also was playing a lot of Marvel Snap in this episode.
Yeah, same. But also, I feel like Aaron's characterization of over the season is the thing that I feel like they've struggled with. It seems like something that they're trying to do, but I don't feel like it's ever landed for me, of like her struggling with her emotions.
It lands really well in the 3-parter.
And that's where they really kind of start to touch on it more so.
Time. She's trying to be more than what she was. As she knows she doesn't want to be a peacekeeper anymore. Season 1, she wanted to go back to the peacekeepers.
Oh yeah, and like that's kind of a common recurring thing for the first season of just like
such a beautiful moment in the first season when she realizes she doesn't and leaves Grace in that fucking chair, which is weird to call that torture scene a beautiful moment, but like it's a great moment for Aaron. But now I think they're trying to go like she's trying to be more than just a peacekeeper, but she doesn't necessarily know how to do that. But they don't always sell that well.
And yeah, I feel like that's the biggest problem with her characterization over the season for me so far is that it just didn't stick, and it only made sense getting to the 3-parter of like, okay, I see what you were trying to do with those episodes, but it just kind of just seemed like consistency, like, okay, Aaron's going to be an asshole, realize, oh, I shouldn't be an asshole, and the episode ends.
You looked like you were very busy there for a second.
Oh no, I was just doing last second research on some of these other episodes that are more interesting.
And on that note,
crackers don't matter.
Creepy fucking one-off alien.
Oh, I love this one-off alien.
The leader?
Yeah. But like
that's all I could think of when I saw
the leader
him.
with like Spider-Man DNA in it, because like when he was climbing on the walls and shit, it didn't look realistic, but it was creepy in a way that like it didn't need to look realistic.
So part of my quickly done research revealed to me that this episode they actually do bring in a new Rigel puppet, and so it's a new puppet for him for the rest of the season past this point.
That explains, like, we actually start to see his feet more often. He definitely has a little better.
And apparently they almost immediately broke the new puppet during the force feeding scene because that's a different cut. Apparently the original cut was a lot more violent.
Oh, interesting.
This is a deeply uncomfortable episode.
The attempted essay was also shot later.
I think this episode's camera work has a lot of fucking really unsettling, like, constant swooping back and forth.
They do a pretty good job on that front. We could have done without the attempted essay with Crichton and Chi.
Yeah.
And then her response to it was really weird. And she's like, I kind of liked some of the stuff you said. Like, I think it was a defensive response. But everyone else is, I don't know, everyone else is being like real shameful. And it's just that scene pulled me out of it. Well, I really enjoyed the rest of it. I was
about to say the rest of it is great. The fucking him dressed up to
humans are superior.
Yeah.
And just the realization that like every one of his senses is fucking terrible. And there's like warning signs written on various parts of the ship that he just can't see. Again, you let Ben Browder go insane and he will deliver. And I really enjoyed having a character in these kinds of things who is aware that of what's happening and that he's going insane, but keeps like sliding in and out of it. That's a hard role to land. And usually when they do something like this, it's someone like Picard who realizes that things are going dark and is like, through rigid control, holding it together enough to save the ship. Crichton saves the ship not through a rigid control, but by like being just insane enough to roll with.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it was a huge fucking risk to put your big bad enemy in, what was it, like a Hawaiian shirt?
It is a weird costume. Hawaiian shirt is as close as I could get to anything that actually makes sense.
But it's a like kind of trashy button up short sleeve shirt, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That could have killed the danger of Scorpy. Also, just calling him Scorpy all of the time could have killed his threat level so much. But impressively, it doesn't really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I also kind of just like the drama of like having the end where they're all back on good terms, but
They
they
all
said
remember
some
what
things.
happened. And like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we said some fucked up shit.
It was in a really interesting moment between Rigel and Dargo. Because one, we've never really gotten that level of sensitivity from
Dargo, especially.
or Rigel.
But like Dargo does Dargo fucking loathes Rigel
Mm-hmm.
in every other episode. Like I've never seen him be like regrettable, like, ugh,
I done you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I fucked up.
But yeah, like that asking for forgiveness and admitting he was in the wrong. Which one? No one's used to doing that with Rigel because Rigel's always in the wrong.
Yes.
Except for this episode. But then also Rigel just showing weak. The closest we've gotten to this kind of like emotional showing from Rigel. Side note, holy shit, the puppeteers. Like we've already talked about Pilot, but Rigel is really good at expressing emotion too.
Yeah.
The closest we've gotten is like at the end of season 1 where he's trying to be a good person after selling them all out and like after John calls him out a little bit. But in this one, he's admitting like fear in a way that we're not really used to seeing, you know? And also, you know, when he's asked like, can you forgive me? And he goes, no, not yet. And like, yeah, the pause is a little hacky and overdone, but it's really well delivered. And it is interesting because usually when Rigel, like when someone is turned on Rigel, he seems to be pretty like, I'm the Dominar and I would just have you killed right now if I had my way.
I'm gonna throw
But
my
it's
weight
not-
around that doesn't exist.
Yeah, right? But it's not in this case. Like it's
He also has a habit of adding things on to anything he says, but usually it's out of earshot and it's something snarky.
and this one was very genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fucking Pilot hating anyone is terrifying.
Oh my
Like,
god, yeah. Pilot nearly killing someone in a couple episodes. I was like, I don't want to be on Pilot's bad side.
Yeah, actually, the next episode, The Way We Weren't.
Yes.
Maybe
Which
one of the
I was
best
going to
episodes.
say, for my money, it maybe not my favorite episode, but the best episode we've watched so far.
I think the best episode we watched so far, I do have a major fucking problem in that, like, you all fucking know she's a goddamn peacekeeper and you are
Yes.
way too fucking upset. Yes. I'm not
I
saying what
agreed.
she's,
I agreed with
I'm not
Chi,
saying what
'cause-
she's doing is bad, but like,
I have a response
y'all
to that.
fucking know she did shit.
I have a response to that. I understand. There is a difference between knowing she did shit in a vague sense. Not vague, but like, I know you did dark shit versus here is a specific thing that you did to someone we know that we are watching on video. Those are two, because one, it's kind of like
And
that.
adding in that she doesn't remember doesn't help her case.
But
Like having done so many bad things, you can't remember this specific bad thing.
it's not that she doesn't remember. She didn't realize it was on Moya.
Yeah, but her argument is that she had been on several other, and like she couldn't remember that this was Moya, that was this thing. It was like, okay,
It's just,
not a great excuse.
it's kind of that, what's that quote? Tragedy is when I stub my toe. Comedy is when you, no, that's not the one I was looking for. One death is a tragedy, 1,000 deaths is a statistic.
Mm-hmm.
They, God, very different quotes about
Yeah.
death. I'm sorry.
Very different.
That I always get mixed up. I know it's not good. Knowing that she did a bunch of awful shit is one thing. Seeing the specific awful shit hits different because it can't be a statistic. It has to be personal here. This happened in this room we're standing in. I agree with what you're saying. But I
Like
kind
the
of get
only
where it's
one who
coming
can
from.
have any fucking real stake of an argument here should be Pilot, and that does overall what happens. But like,
I also think there is just something about, I don't, think they necessarily knew she had killed a pilot. And there is something about how innocent Pilot is that does make that seem extra fucked up. Although she lands a pretty good line of like, you cut off his fucking arm. Like, do you really get to say much?
yeah, and like at the same time, it's like fucking Zan's a former anarchist, of which they've alluded her to be like a real fucking hardcore anarchist.
She's holding on to her spiritual enlightenment by a fucking thread.
Yeah.
If you were to tell me that she fucking blew up a school, I would not be very surprised by this.
I actually really like, I know, because you and I talked about this a little bit. I really liked how Zan was. Like, she was in the same way that she is holding on to her fucking enlightenment by a thread. The fact that this hurt her has her, like, she's trying to not be shitty, but is being super passive aggressive. But when she's called out on it and she's confronted with what she does, she's like, you're right. Neither one of us is what we used to be. That's a good thing. You are like, yeah.
I do feel like this season pushes Zan to the background more than last season, though. I do feel like a couple of these episodes, she kind of only shows up if they need somebody to say something either really religious or really sciencey.
Part of that is adding Chiana into the mix and adding Chiana as a potential romance for Dargo, because they were kind
For
of
anyone who breathes.
yes, but Dargo in specific, because
Yeah.
they were kind of setting up Zan to have that role. But when you have Chiana playing the "it's time to be sexy" role, that takes away one of the things Zan did in season 1.
Yeah, it feels like they're slowly shifting her to be either just like an incidental captain or like a fucking first like a Riker type of situation.
See,
of
I
like-
was gonna say she's a little more Geordie and Crusher.
that makes sense.
Well, previously she was Geordie, Crusher, and Troy. Like, that's a lot of roles for one character to fill, too, by the way.
That's true. Fuck, all of the episode's kind of weirdly gorgeous, though, too. I felt like just the way it was shot felt more, not quite cinematic, but beyond what we had been shown previously in this show.
I think particularly with the way they edit it and its flashbacks to that.
What they do with the flashbacks is, it's so easy to get flashbacks wrong, though. Like, they change the color tone a little bit, but not in a way that's not over the top. Like, if they had sepia toned it, it would have just killed everything that
Yeah,
was
I
happening.
think it's just a very subtle lighting shift. It's not even like
What's
a
it
wild
called?
color.
They said it's a bleach bypass.
It just makes everything a little more stark, which really works for peacekeepers.
Mhm.
Also, fuck, Christ was insane from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So, it's a process where they skip either completely or partially skip the bleaching function of processing color film, so the silver is retained in the emulsion
Okay.
So it's just generally more
along with the
reflective.
color dyes. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's kind of a black and white image on top of a color image.
That's kind of fucking awesome. One thing we didn't talk about, and I meant to bring it up earlier, but it kind of works here. The amount that Aaron and Crichton are, I mean, one, the amount that they're flirty is up, but like just their physical affection for each other
Oh,
has shifted in such a way. Like, them cuddling at the end of the first episode was huge, but just the way, like, they interact with each other is
they're a lot more comfortable in each other's physical spaces
Mhm.
at this point. And it doesn't feel like it. It feels like, as we get into it later in an episode, but it feels like it's not even like a thing they're thinking about. It's just
what they're
what
doing.
they're doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not sexual, but it's not sexual. Like, they're still super flirty with large parts of it, but it's also just they have found someone who helps them, I guess, relax in a world that is not built to help them relax.
It feels like a real comfortable familiarity that could border on romantic kind of nature, but it's not quite there.
The scene in this one, and it's not as nearly as overt as, like, oh my god, they're cuddling in Pilot's den in the end of the first episode, which I would totally cuddle with my wife while hanging out with that puppet. be it puppet or just pilot. I do not care. But
Yeah,
You're not wrong.
is
You would do that.
when Erin has punched the punching bag to the point that her hands are bleeding, and she breaks down, and the way that like Crichton takes care of her there, I don't know. I thought was just an extremely well done moment. Pilot's backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, unless you had
No,
something.
no. Sorry.
As well as just the general lore you get. The more lore you get about like
We learn a lot about pilot species.
pilot species, as well as you learn a lot more about Moya, and like how they have this symbiotic relationship between the two of them.
Also, the pilot's been in constant pain for
This entire time.
yes, which might explain why is his snippiness a little bit. You guys are being kind of annoying, and I fucking hurt.
Yeah, a little bit.
Again, the acting of what they can do with that puppet is incredible.
Yeah, I would love to know how much like it by the sounds of it, they just kind of were by the seat of their pants as they go, but like the relationship they built between Pilot and Aaron in the first season to have this episode come up to find out that there's been such a betrayal of their relationship before they had even founded a relationship.
Yeah, because it's not a betrayal of their relationship because they didn't have that relationship and neither one knew.
But it feels like it.
But yeah, no,
Mhm.
100%
Because where they are
understandably.
now.
Yeah.
I think especially Pilot and Aaron's responses are very believable.
Mhm.
I don't have much else on that one, which feels weird because I did fucking love that episode while watching it. But
And I kind of feel like that's going to be a lot of these episodes in this first half. Given the episodic nature of each episode, just kind of being like a standalone kind of. I feel like this season is all kind of it. Other than the 3-parter, they're really standalone episodes. Like only maybe 2 touch back on like. There's one with Maldus that I think that's the next one that touches on Maldus from the first season. Otherwise, they don't. They're very standalone episodes overall.
It was TV of the time. Like it was, I mean, honestly, Star Trek was one of the first sci-fi shows or Next Gen to kind of have overarching stories, and it would be tiny, like what Worf's been up to with his discommendation running in the background of seasons. This show leans more into it, but also Eureka, which came out around the same time, would have that like standalone episodes, and there's kind of an overarching back plot that we will get to later.
Like there's characters can have like growth over a season, but basically this episode, we're just dealing with this episode.
And we might be tossing in a thing or two that will tie in at the finale, but you might not even necessarily realize what that is until we get to the finale and oh shit, we have been building up.
Picture, if you will. Yeah, it's the Maldus one.
I don't like this one either.
This one was weird for me because there's a lot of really good set design in this and just crazy cool production design in general. And the more Maldus shows up at the end, the less I care.
Maldus was so much
100%
better in the first appearance.
Agree. I watched this the first time, and when I found out it was Maldus, I was like, oh, well, all that other shit doesn't matter now. And then I was rewatching it with my partner, and she was like, oh shit, did Chiana just die? And I was like, technically, kind of. This is an episode where nothing matters. Don't worry about it.
I sometimes wonder because, I mean, as I said before, my first experience with Farscape was the final miniseries.
Oh, yeah.
So my first experience with Farscape is knowing where all of these characters end up.
Wow.
So I wonder if I had started from the beginning some of these things, if they would have hit stronger or differently. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't start with the Peacekeeper Wars. And I was mostly like, this episode is gorgeous. I'm loving. Well, okay. More Maldus.
It's a little
more Maldus. I'm kind of over it by the end of it.
And like, kind of don't want them to do another Maldus episode. I assume they probably will eventually. Who knows?
I think you could do another Maldus episode. I think you need a little more.
Ooh, not to be too much of a spoiler, but I just looked it up, and it says Maldus's last appearance is in season 2, episode 6. Picture if you will.
Thank goodness.
I think because he didn't work that well on this one.
Because he didn't really work. Like
Maldus was like a fun, cackling villain in the first one, and this one he's just kind of a forgettable. Like I feed on your fear.
And I feel like they set him up in the first one that he should be like a Q level kind of entity that kind of just shows up and fucks up shit and disappears. And that's kind of what he is, but it's also just like it's that he shows up, fucks up shit, and they make him disappear. And I was like, okay, can you not come back?
He is sort of set up to come back at the end of this episode, and I'm super glad to find out he doesn't.
Yeah, like I the way they leave it, I was just like, he could come back again, I guess, because they very ambiguously just like, well, he came back.
I mean, should we actually say what this happens in, like, what the plot
Shiana is given a painting that starts to predict the future, and then it predicts bad things happening in the future. And it turns out that it is Maldus inspiring fear in them so he can grow more powerful and take his revenge on them.
See, yeah, this episode I thought was a lot more interesting when I thought it was how Farscape was going to do their version of Future Echoes.
Fair. Part of my problem with this episode, I'm realizing, is it reminds me of an episode of Deep Space Nine called Run Along Home. Run Along Home is one of the worst episodes DS9 ever made. And it is the crew is pulled into this like random world where various things don't make sense. And then it turns out it was all just a game. You know, in Lower Decks where they trap the guy in the puzzle box?
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
Run Along Home episode. It made me think of that fucking puzzle box the whole time.
That's fucking hilarious. That would makes me like the episode a little bit more.
It's weird to call it filler when it's a bunch of standalone episodes. The problem is I don't think anyone necessarily grew a little bit from this episode. Not even like Zan. And Zan should grow in this episode.
So this is an episode that was aired out of production order.
Okay.
And it was actually supposed to be like episode 3 of the season. So there's actually some slight character regression.
That actually explains a little bit. It would have been a rough part open if the season of like the
This
3
now-
episodes originally planned.
It does make Zan make a little bit more sense in this episode for me, in that like she does feel like she's still in that weird like I fucked off a little bit doing my Delvian Seek thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be a mysterious and aloof while I do that.
The one thing I think I do like of this episode, not the one thing, this episode, I didn't hate watching it. It was at least mildly entertaining. Like I didn't feel like cheated or anything. But I like the relationship between Zan and Crichton quite a bit. Because Crichton is comparatively useful to all of them. Or useless to all of them when it comes to like physical stuff like we talk about in Crackers Don't Matter. But he does. There was a meme I saw that described Crichton as jock who is good at math and surprisingly feelings. And the fact that Crichton actually is pretty in touch with his feelings and how Zan like understands that and respects that and can like bond with him over that is something that I really enjoy about their relationship. So I enjoyed the kind of moments we got there.
Fully agree in that like I do actually love their dynamic, and like that they set up that they have this bond in the first season, and it does keep coming back subtly throughout it. Like literally, I think they mentioned in this one that bond again, but also
it is funny to me that everyone just happens to have a special bond with Crichton except for Rigel, who likes him more than he likes most people, but still like
I think they do have a special bond, and it's that Rigel's just waiting for him to die so he can take his stuff.
the bond is, surprisingly, he keeps not dying, and I respect that.
But like in a later episode, like there's the body swap episode. I think that's probably like the next one or so. Fucking Zan's the only one who doesn't get body swapped, and she's just like, Crichton, what do we do? And it's Crichton's in a different body, so that she's like, shut up, Rigel. I need to ask Crichton what to do. And it's just like only going to listen to Crichton in this situation.
I liked that. I did think like, I'm not gonna ask. Aaron's right there. You're pretty trusting of Aaron at this point.
And also like just as equally fucking capable as Crichton, if not more. In certain regards.
But there is that level of trust, and admittedly, what they were asking for is insane. But I think that's the next episode. So
no, next episode is Home on the Remains.
Okay.
Oh, that's the
more Chi backstory.
I was so uncomfortable with the way that she was stroking the edge of the dude's dickhead. It was like she was gonna sound him with her fist.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh god!
This is the episode that I think was one of the most boring episodes for me. In all honesty, I didn't.
First piece of Muppet media to get an 18 certificate rating from the British Muppet.
Oh my god!
Because of the gore effect at the end when dude fucking like disintegrates.
Oh yeah, it is a pretty baller disintegration like effect there. But like getting to that point, like I watched this episode 3 times and it was a slog for me. I only watched it the 3rd time because I felt like I kept missing what the fuck was like how they got there.
Right, because they're suddenly just out of food, yeah?
Yeah. So bad that fucking Zan is now going feral, and like no food will work. She needs fucking meat.
This is another one of those episodes where I'm like, this is the only interesting takeaway, that like now we know more about what happens with Zan's species when they're almost starving to death.
Zan's species is horrifying, by the way. I do have 2 thoughts on this, but go ahead.
No, I just agree with Zan's species is horrifying because, like, in a future episode, she just fucking chants a rhyme that turns her hand small and decrepit so she can get out of handcuffs.
Just, like, takes out the chlorophyll or something. Like, I don't know.
Don't like that.
Okay, so one, as much as I respect that they want to show us bits of who Chiana was before she joined Farscape, they tend not to be wildly compelling episodes. We also didn't really love
taking the stone, which this is both. These episodes are wild because I love Chi.
Yeah, Chiana's great, but anytime we see her before, because we don't really need it, honestly, unless they're going to show us stuff with her brother, which I would find interesting. Or with the other Nabari, like, let's see that. We already know that she was a flirty thief who used sex as a tool.
Like, you could just tell me that. I don't need to see backstory of how she became that.
But other thought, which is fun, I am sure that this absolutely influenced James Gunn's depiction of Nowhere in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Because Nowhere already existed in the Marvel Universe, but it's just a head that's been converted into a space station. I don't remember them saying anything about, like, all the mining and shit, but the Budong?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And how they're mining that. So, one part of it, of, like, them, like, I don't know, sploshing something, almost looked scene to scene for me for one of the moments of them mining on Nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Definitely feels very referential.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it almost like the monster attacking, but it turns out it's being controlled by the monster hunter. Feels like something out of like Smallville or X-Files.
Or fucking like a Sherlock. Feels like Sherlock Holmes bullshit. It's not a wild animal. I control it. And now I'm going to use it to kill you.
Oh, that does remind me of a movie that I need to rewatch, though. Brotherhood of the Wolf.
I don't know.
It's a kind of action. It's a long ass movie. Parts of it are kind of action, kung fu-ish, medieval, based on the Beast of Gevaudan.
Oh shit! Beast of Gevaudan is fucking a great story.
with Mark Dacascos.
I'm into it. I should also say, I don't necessarily think that kind of Monster of the Week thing is bad. It just felt a little out of character for Farscape. And I'm not sure why.
Although also at the same time, guy you've been dealing with this whole time turns out that he's an asshole who was trying to kill you all and manipulate you.
Is very on brand for
very on
Farscape.
brand.
It's the monster itself. And it, Farscape of the Week is... Or Farscape of the
The monster.
Farscape
of the Week.
I'm so tired.
The monster reminded me of the monsters from Attack the Block.
Yeah. Now that you say that.
God, that movie's fucking good.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since we did an episode on it. I should watch that again.
Fucking rules.
It's really funny to watch after watching Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor.
It's really funny to watch after seeing fucking Finn as Finn.
Also, he's like, I'm 15. I'm like, no, you're fucking not. But anyways, I don't care about Chi's backstory. I care about Chiana's interactions with the crew.
Yeah, there's not much here that's like
compelling, interesting.
It is really...
What does Rigel get up into this episode? I don't fucking even remember.
He gambles with someone and then he's caught cheating. No, the other one cheats better than him. So he owes them money, so he has to go mining, and it has nothing to do with the plot.
Oh, dude, and I fully thought that that's what, like, it was going to be a turn where he just accidentally saves the fucking day because he just, like...
Same. I thought the same thing.
He goes and he finds a fucking vein that nobody finds because he's a short little guy, whatever bullshit they come up with, and he just like, well, I'm going to pay off my debts, and I'm going to buy some meat, and I'm going to save the day, and we're going to get the fuck out of here.
And then instead, they just eat the thing that they blew up, or I don't even remember where the meat comes from.
I don't remember. I don't care.
Oh, well, Crichton found the whole closet of meat.
Sure.
The meat closet is in the word balloon.
Yeah, he found the word balloon's meat closet.
Oh, my God. Body swap?
No, Dream a Little Dream.
I am fucking bad at remembering the order that these came in.
Yeah, which Dream a Little Dream is another one that I watched like 3 times.
Remind me what episode this one is?
This is the one where Crichton and Zan are stranded in in the transport.
Oh,
and,
we talked about it a little bit already. It's the
it's
lawyer
supposed
planet.
to be like episode 1, and it's basically what Zan, Gianna, and Pilot and Rigel were up to while Crichton and...
Because I am a fan of the Star Trek bullshit law drama episodes that every Star Trek show feels a need to do, ranging from Measure of a Man in Next Gen, where they have to prove Data's sentient and it's one of the greatest things Star Trek ever did, to that bizarre season 1 episode of Lower Decks where they have to speak into the truth horn and none of them know what's going on. Like, every show in Star Trek has at least one courtroom drama episode. So I appreciated the idea of tossing in a courtroom drama episode and having the 2 people that have to do it being the 2 least reliable human beings.
Oh, yeah, like putting...
We need Chiana and Rigel, and they can't lie.
Yeah, basically, we're going to make our sleazy lawyers not be able to be sleazy.
It's liar, liar.
100%.
Hate the claw. You're scared of the claw.
Wow, I always forget Carrie Ellis is in that movie.
I kind of forget he's in any movie except for Robin Hood Men in Tights and
Saw.
Princess Bride.
Right. You hadn't Saw.
I've never seen Saw, you know it.
You should. It's a great film.
What part of what you know about me?
No, the first
thinks
Saw.
that I would...
The first Saw you can do.
The first Saw you can do, and also the amount of homoeroticism between him and Carrie Ellis, and Carrie Ellis's character and the other guy.
The first Saw is not what people make it out to be. The ones past that, yes. The first one
is very much like, it is still a horror movie, and it does have some gruesome stuff, but it's way less like, well, this is 90 minutes of the most grotesque body horror you can imagine, self-inflicted.
It's more of a thriller.
I don't watch
more of a
either
thriller.
genre, really.
It's more of a serial killer thriller than it is like a... Carrie Ellis is great.
Yeah, Carrie Ellis is fucking amazing. Oh man, he should be on Farscape.
He's also in Hansel and Gretel Get Baked, which I know from Fried Squirms.
Fucking wild. Okay. Oh, courtroom drama. It is a another, again, classic sci-fi trope of let's take an idea and bring it to its absolute absurd degree. Here is a planet of lawyers. It kind of felt like it was mocking almost like the concept of warrior species. Like, that's, it's not quite that, but like it made me think
lawyer
of that. Like,
species instead of warrior species.
I mean, it is like there's an episode of Enterprise, which is, yes, the worst Star Trek, but still did have a couple decent episodes where there is, because Enterprise takes place like a century before the original series. And there is a Klingon who is fucking old in that episode, who is a like old crotchety lawyer. And he's complaining about how Klingon society didn't used to be so one-track mind. That there used to be people who wanted to be lawyers or wanted to be this or wanted to be that. But as like the warrior caste took over more and more and more, it turned it into a monoculture basically of just warriors. And there's a lot of shows that do that. I mean, Mando, Cece and I got talking about this because we were watching Farscape and Mando season 3. Like, hey, great, you guys are taking back Mandalore. Literally one person knows how to bake a farm in this entire group. And it's the guy that you did not come to the planet with, and you were just lucky enough to have him there. Like, anytime you get that kind of warrior culture, like, fuck, guys, you need to learn, like, a second skill.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, a lot of those kinds of warrior cultures are based off of, like, the Mongols, so, like, nomad tribes that really did survive almost entirely. But even then, their warriors had other skills. When you get to the Klingons, they don't. Or in this case, when you get to the lawyers,
They do have
They
other
don't.
skills, knowing how to bend the law, to frame
that's a
someone for
lawyer skill.
murder.
Yeah. It was just one of those, like, it's an interesting idea to kind of look at. I never want to see or hear or necessarily even think about this planet again.
Yeah, we don't ever need to come back here. It's random fucking. It also felt like it was touching on like some of the like Blade Runner capitalism as a monoculture of like capitalism getting so big that it's overtaken everything. Like law got so big it overtook over everything. But I don't need to fucking go. This episode was a challenge for me. It also relied too heavily on, hey, Chiana and Rigel are the funny ones.
I think Zan does a great job in this episode. I actually find it puts a lot more context to where she is earlier on in the season, and watching her as she's like connecting with the different parts of her through those three.
And her struggle with Chiana and Rigel of like,
I have to keep the children like focused.
Yeah, and like them not being as concerned as she was expecting them to be for Dargo and Aaron and John.
You know what's interesting? We described this season as significantly better than season 1 so far, and how
we've
much
been
we
bitching
enjoyed
about
watching it.
so many episodes.
Yes,
But also we did
it's-
that on the first season too.
It's something about Farscape. It's a great show, but when you look at a lot of the episodes one-on-one, you're like, huh. I don't, like, I enjoyed it, but I don't.
I think individual episodes are great in the moment, but when you look at it as a whole, it's like, oh, you guys are just like constantly fucking shit up and then moving
It's
on.
because
to
nothing
fuck
good
something
ever
up.
happens to them, and they don't really make anything better. I kind of talked to this a little bit with you about this with you. If I'm like in a mood for Star Trek, I have specific episodes that I know I can go watch. Way of the Warrior, Measure of a Man, fucking Best of Both Worlds, whatever. Like
Any data-centric episode it will do it
Sure.
for me.
if I'm in a Doctor Who mood, I'm like, oh, The 11th Hour, Pilot, Blink, whatever. Like they're specific. I don't have that for Farscape. Even though it's like episodic television, and I could theoretically just pick up any one and go. The only episode I can remember the name of is Crackers Don't Matter, and mostly because it's a doofy fucking name. Or I guess Jeremiah Crichton, but like, but there's never any like, I'm gonna go watch. When I watch Farscape, I am like going through it as opposed to like just visiting. Because the overall product is fucking fantastic, but each episode is just kind of like deeply uncomfortable at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is wild to think about, considering we've also been talking about how very episodic it is, in that like they're all standalone episodes that feel very much encapsulated.
It exists right at the middle point
like,
from switching from, like, I think this and Deep Space Nine deserve way more credit than they get for turning science fiction into serialized television instead of episodic television.
that makes sense.
Next is Out of Their Minds.
Body swap.
Yes.
I don't usually like body swaps because it just makes me on like third-hand embarrassment. It's like, oh, look at this awkward situation. I think it helps that even though we do have to have the one person who doesn't know what's going on, she only interacts with them like once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
it's never
rather than,
even
like,
that big of a
constantly.
deal.
And
It's
it's-
just like, why are you guys being weird?
Yes, and it's mostly everyone knows that the body swap is going on and they're figuring out how to deal with it, as opposed to gotta pretend everything's okay. I'll go to school anyways, even though
Mhm.
I'm in Clark's body. Like,
Other than like they put a clear time constraint in of like, we just need to get this done. It is weird that they don't like, shit happened, we swap bodies. I feel like
yeah, you've met Maldus. This isn't that weird on the scale of things.
like Zan is a fucking plant person. She could get with this picture pretty quick, I feel.
She's a Pau. Like,
It's just like, you know how last week when we fucking all went crazy because of that fucking alien? This week something different's happening.
same idea.
Yeah.
Other than one scene I'll get into in a sec, I thought like they do play with like the sex a little bit, but not in a way that's like really terrible, because Crichton definitely looks at the boobies. But it's not so much like him like feeling up and being a pervert, but being like, interesting. I've always been curious about this.
It's very
Yeah.
much like a childlike, like, not a sexualization of it, but like, I've never had this experience. I'm going to get this experience.
And it's definitely implied, although she never admits it, that Aaron did the same thing of like whoop da whoop da whoop
Yep.
da whoop da.
yeah,
Like,
she definitely helicoptered it.
Yeah.
I also, on rewatch of this episode, I very much was surprisingly very happy with how they played out the Chiana in Dargo's body and Rigel in Crichton's body.
See, I hate that scene.
I hate it too. Of overall, it's very creepy, but also that it never felt like it's too forced, which is the problem for me. But it never feels like they're like doing anything shamey, if that makes sense.
The actors really commit to it in a way that like the actor who plays Dargo, we've already talked about this, the way that he's willing to like lean into some of the other aspects of other than just anger, but like
Mhm.
horny.
He's really fucking good at like. I felt like he did a really good job of playing the characterization of Chiana, who is supposed to be like this weird little fucking sex nymph for some reason. It was just like
She's
she's
the
horny femme fatale.
Yeah, she's femme fatale and she's manic pixie dream girl at the same time. Like
He did her little head twitches so well.
Mhm. Also, his impersonation of Pilot is really good. I've also been looking forward to this because when we first started watching, you were like, "Oh, I looked up who played Pilot and also the guy who played Dargo." And I'm like, "Yep, just trust me, man." Like, side note, I've already complimented his acting like 6 times, but the guy who plays Pilot, his impersonation of Dargo
Oh yeah,
was so good. Like even just the growl he has in the voice was like,
yeah. I felt like the one who I felt like there was only one who I felt like didn't bring a lot to the table for who they were trying to impersonate was Claudia Black. I feel like none of her characterizations were like wildly like specific.
just the scene with the boobies that we were talking
Like that
about.
that
Like,
was it.
that's-
But like also she's possessed by Crichton and then Rigel. So it's not really hard. It's not really there's not a lot of material to feel like really give you. She does a good Rigel voice, I think, but like it's pretty much just right.
Browder does a better Rigel than Black, even though his voices, he has like 3 voices that he can do.
And it's very
he
much...
can do Crichton, he can do his awkward British accent, and he can do his
and it's somewhere in between the awkward British and the... It leans into the British just a little too frequently of like, this is a royal voice that I'm doing.
I am telling you to... Yeah. His like, the way he had Rigel convey disgust of like, everyone else is like, it's kind of interesting. Rigel's like, this is disgusting. You all are weird, naked giants, and I hate it. Like... Because we think of
Claudia Black pretending to be John Crichton, telling Ben Breyer to pretending to be Rigel how to pee in that body was a delightful scene. I think this is probably my favorite episode of the season so far.
I was gonna say, if there's an episode I would just like seek out to put on,
this is probably
this is the safest bet of one that I could just rewatch, because
this is a great episode, similar to how we were talking about like some of the impersonation stuff in the Dropout shows. Like what a skill that is. This is maybe not like the wildest episode in a lot of ways, but it shows the skill of the actors. Every actor in the show is insanely good at their job, which, considering how surrealist this show is, you don't actually have to be as amazing as these guys are.
My 3 Crichtons.
Another great standalone, like, sci-fi app.
Ben Browder has to do a lot of fucking work in this episode.
Yes.
He put in a long days in making this, I have to assume. Also, his fucking...
I do feel like this was the one that was the most easily guessable, like what was going to happen.
It was pretty predictable, which is interesting. I have thoughts about this episode that I can't go into yet.
As soon as the ultimatum is made in the middle of the episode of like, yeah, science bullshit, we cloned you, there's one from the past, one from the future. We need one of them or else everybody dies. I was like, well, fucking prehistoric one's going to sacrifice himself. Regardless of anything else. He's going to go in it of his own volition.
That said, like, how, even though it's predictable, I think that they have a pretty good depiction of how Crichton gets there, and I enjoy Crichton having to, like... It would be so easy for Crichton to just be like, no, fuck both of you. Neither one of you are real, I'm me. And he has that to an extent. But he also is like, I can't sacrifice that. That thing has a right to life as much as I do. Or as much as fucking creepy fake teeth John has.
Oh god, the teeth on the future one are so creepy. I did not care for the teeth.
It kind of fucks with his accent a little. Like, partly he's trying to be a little more analytical, but also he has fake teeth in there, and it just tweaks it.
Here's the other thing. He's actually said in interviews that he's a little annoyed that nobody got the reference he was trying to make with the accent. He did, more than just the fake teeth, he did try to give each one a separate accent.
Mm-hmm.
And to buck trends of the future version usually sounding sophisticated,
he gave it a little more southern.
He wanted to, he was trying to sound like Bill Clinton.
Oh no. He was trying to do Arkansas. Why? So,
that's a choice.
One thing that this episode makes me think of, Tyler, do you remember way back when we did a Black Panther episode and we read some of the Jack Kirby Black Panther run?
Okay.
It would have been in the first year of the podcast. Now, in that run, it's one of my all-time favorite comic runs because it is the most insane thing I've ever read. Black Panther and this little dwarf collector man find King Solomon's frog, which is a little statue of a frog that's also a time machine. and they summon a creature from the far future called Hatch 22 that is a hyper advanced human that has evolved past the point of morality or like normal human body and has weird psychic powers. And holy shit, I kept going back to this like obscure 70s Black Panther run
That's funny.
while looking just the way the design is set up is not the same, but like has some of the similar.
I know it's a sci-fi
attributes.
trope, but it's a dumb sci-fi trope that will evolve past morality. It's like, I fucking hate that. That seems
Yeah,
so dumb to me.
Luckily, so does Crichton. I do think it's funny that he no longer has a dick.
Yeah, that's funny.
They
That-
never admit
that you
straight.
see.
No, they imply
No.
like, no, you don't need that anymore. And Crichton looks down and is just like, huh. Like,
I was trying to make a joke that he's got a cloaca.
he might.
He sucks it back up. And
I just kept thinking, I was like, it's not the same, but I was like, oh, it's confidence and paranoia.
It really is. The good side, the bad side, like the kind of pure side. I almost would have liked that a little more than like hyper evolved and under evolved,
Mhm.
but that does just require sci-fi's often shaky grasp of evolution. I do appreciate that Chiana immediately like bonds with Sasquatch Crichton. I know it's supposed to
Yeah.
be Caveman Crichton, but Sasquatch Crichton.
Leandro.
And Nien bro. And like he's sensitive, like calls out the stuff that she likes about Crichton that is in him.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate, I mean, one, it's got to be fun for Ben Browder to play all three roles. The sweet innocent one, the one that's willing to sacrifice anyone, and the guy that's in between, and poor Crichton, who still wants this to be a Star Trek world. And like part of him goes, yeah, you're right, we can just, because it's a caveman, like it's theoretically the least sentient of all of us, but I can't
guess-
fucking do that. Like
I'm gonna try not to, but if we have to, I guess we take him.
But then the moment he gets to that point, it's like, this is wrong. And like keeps those Star Trek values that he keeps desperately trying to bring into the world. And it's also one of the first times we really start seeing, I talked about kind of Crichton's PTSD, and it'll come up more of how tired he is. How tired he is, where he's just like, fuck it. I'll be the one to die. I don't care anymore. It'll save everyone else. And I'm so tired, I'm running out of fight.
I'm over it. I just want to be done.
Then it goes into the three-parter.
Trying to sound like Bill Clinton. I'm sorry. I'm still just trying to
Yep.
get past that.
That's such a choice.
Clinton wasn't that long before. He might have actually still been president during filming of this,
Oh,
or
maybe
would have
during the filming.
or just left. Like, yeah.
Because that episode would have aired in the U.S. in like mid-July 2000.
So the election was going. So he was still president, but was like just about to not be.
Mm-hmm.
Wild. That does put that into a lot more context than Ed.
Yeah, but then it goes into the three-parter. The look at the princess, a kiss is but a kiss, I think, and the Maltese Crichton.
I love the name, the Maltese Crichton.
That's a very good one. These are the only ones I didn't get a chance to rewatch. I did watch through them all and really enjoyed them a lot, but they're the only ones that I ran out of time. So
I have seen these episodes more than I've seen a lot of other Farscape episodes over the years. I don't know why. And they're ones that stick out for me.
it's a really solid three-parter of like, it's basically a mini movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is solid. It does feel like it should have been a two-parter.
It does feel like it should have been a two-parter. It also does feel like it should have been kind of like a season finale. Like, it feels like they were trying to set it up to be a season finale.
I think the things that you would cut from this is maybe the Aaron stuff, but you kind of need some of that Aaron stuff to make it work.
Yeah, and see, if I were to cut anything, I would probably just cut more of the unnecessary, like, there's too many people involved in this plot of, like,
I feel like that is they're purposely trying to kind of almost lampoon some of the like courtly dramas or the like murder mysteries where it turned, this is in a lot of ways a fucking Poirot book where
Oh,
it turns out there's like 16 other characters and all of them have their own plans and motivations and
they're
yada,
all
yada,
trying to
yada.
read each other and doing a poor fucking
Really
job of
bad
it.
fucking job at it.
Oh yeah, Scorpius is back at a point.
Scorpius comes back in this one.
Oh, and we get more information about his race.
We
and that
get
we find out.
so much about Scorpius. This is not a giveaway. The Scarens are gonna come up again. Like the fact that he's half Scaran kind of shows that. I forgot that this is the first time you see another Scaran.
I was fascinated to learn more about this race and like the eventual reveal that he's half Scaran, half Sebastian, but because of his Scaran, he's in conflict with himself. Of like Sebastian's like don't do hot weather well,
And
but
Scarens
Scaran's
have to.
So he's got to like wear a thermal modulating that's what he's wearing. It's not that he's wearing fucking S&M bondage, it's that he's wearing some sort of weird cooling suit, as well as apparently has like rods inserted into his
We had seen
brain.
those in the earlier in the series, but hadn't had it explained. It makes me viscerally uncomfortable every time they spin that thing back into his head.
Yeah, it's done.
It's very well done.
Yeah. Crichton has an interesting arc in this three-parter, though. I don't like the whole his willingness to play along with this as much as he does at points feels a little bit like you were mentioning, like he's just kind of like done and over it at points, and he's just gonna play his part. But like, it felt like a real out of left field thing that they set up the little bit of him having a kid, and like how quickly he got attached to the prospect of like, oh, I'm gonna have a fucking shot. Oh, I'm gonna
That
be
technology
Give me that baby.
give me
that
that
technology
baby.
is so fucked up. At the very end, when you're like, "Do you want to see your child?" and then he gets like a little hologram kid that's like, "Are you my daddy? I love you, daddy." And it's supposed to be like this kind of sweet moment. I'm like, "Fuck you!"
And it's
Like-
all like it's all fucking like it's just a fucking AI generation of what his kid theoretically will be.
Yeah.
I get fucked.
And like I get it, it's sci-fi bullshit of like we got technology, we can actually do it.
it's just so like that scene was so cruel. Instead
love
of
you,
like,
Daddy.
It's so fucking cruel, and just like at the same time, it's like as cruel as it is, it's like it only feels cruel because like 2 scenes ago you just like showed him a little kid and was like, oh, I guess he wants to be a dad now.
that actually doesn't surprise me from what we've seen of Crichton and what we've seen of his relationship with his father.
How much more fucked up would it have been if little kid hologram pops up and was just like, "Why weren't you there, Daddy?"
Oh, fuck you. Oh my god. Okay, but so the basics of this is the crew finds themselves on a planet that is powerful enough that people can't just roll in and take it over easy. And so it's
Like
played
they have some sort of deal with peace. It's
they
not
have a huge
peacekeepers.
defense net of some kind, and then they play like a balance between the Scarens and the Peacekeepers so they can remain independent. But because when you are the small country with a big enough punch that no one wants to pick a fight with you, but also cannot allow you to ally with someone else, that is the like ultimate risky place to be in geopolitical situations.
Mhm.
They are fucking weird as a result.
Yeah.
Oh,
The son in line for power is a real piss baby. In
He's
my
a
opinion.
little bitch. I mean, he's supposed to be a little bitch, and that guy plays it pretty well, but holy shit, is he a little bitch.
Just pointing out the political situation and all that. The first part, a kiss is but a kiss, is a line from As Time Goes By, the song from Casablanca.
That's
Okay.
cool. Yeah, they're doing some sort of royal coronation on this planet to try and basically get the princess married to be the next empress.
It's determination of who will take over the planet, and they get pulled into it on accident, and they have to separate the crew or Moya from the crew. To if Moya was here,
oh shit! I forgot about the whole Moya subplot that goes on.
If Moya was here, or if Zan was here, none of this would have happened. They either just would have left,
oh yeah,
or Zan would have been like, "Comet the fuck down and down with royalty," like, anarchist. It is fun to see Rigel actually get to be in a place where he like fits.
Kind of fits, yeah.
And it's interesting to me that they keep respecting Rigel even though he's doesn't actually have any power, and they're aware that he doesn't have any power, but there is something about royalty that they can't handle blue blood not being treated well.
Despite he has no real power, he has enough knowledge of how to work in that system that like they're gonna treat him respectfully enough because he could have power again, theoretically. Like he's done it once. Technically, he is technically royalty, even though he has no power. And that is the kind of bullshit that's like, oh,
he might be a deposed ruler, but he's still a former ruler and alive and kicking, and
everybody knows the ruling class sticks together.
So on top of that, and leading into this political drama, this is the horniest this show has ever been. Starting with
Dargo comes so much
more than the Dargo come episode.
Starting
just
even
thick ropes.
Well, if we weren't explicit already on this podcast, like in our Spotify lists, we are now. But I mean, from the very beginning of like the flirtation between Aaron and Crichton getting to the makeout point, but her not being able to quite make that next jump, which makes sense for Aaron as a person. She's grown so much, but like there's a level of intimacy that she's literally been trained her entire life to not allow, that's hard for her to step past. And then Crichton does respond childishly to it because Crichton is kind of a man-child.
Yeah.
Also,
they both respond childishly throughout.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I understand where she is coming from a lot more, and then he kind of is a dick to it, so she's a dick back, and they
continue that for a couple episodes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just a constant back and forth in the next 3 episodes. It's just like,
oh, you slightly spurned me again? Chiana?
Oh, Chiana, I'm gonna go fuck Chiana, and walk in on Dargo and Chiana just boning down hard. I will say fucking Dargo is my favorite in these 3 episodes. It's just like, John, don't you fucking ruin this for me. I am getting the best sex of my life, and I came so hard 4 episodes ago. Thick ropes. Don't you dare fuck this up for me.
Don't you ruin this. Do not ruin this. But then like shifting to also like, don't fuck this up with me, I'll kill you, to like, you will protect my buddy John, or I will blow up this fucking planet. Like, it's the shift. I do think it shows how much Crichton falls off the deep end really fast, that when he first runs into them having sex, like, oh, no, oh, wrong, not bad, but like wrong time.
And
wrong.
Dargo's just like, get out, leave.
But then later on, when he finds out he's going to be turned into a statue thanks to complicated political matters that I don't think we really need to go into here.
Also, you guys are bad at your like concept of reality and culture, because that's a dumb idea to make your royalty a statue for 80 years.
It's one of the most torturous things I've ever heard of.
You just have to sit there as a statue for 80 years, listening and seeing everything.
I love politics, but 80 years of listening to Congress sounds terrible.
Did you guys want to make a fucking wildly crazy psychopathic person?
But
be your leader? Because that's what you're doing.
To just like strapped in front of C-SPAN for 80 years.
Dude, I immediately thought of fucking Demolition Man and the weird like cryo prisons that they have there. Like that, you are doing horrible things to, you're planning to make your next. Are you wanting a tyrant to destroy you?
Can I tie it back to what I was?
I guess
um,
I'm
but-
done.
But going from like, oh no, did not need to see or know about that, to just openly ranting about how he's going to get turned into a statue while Dargo's going down on Chiana.
Like, oh,
And that actress is playing, Gigi Edley is playing into the part there.
Yeah.
The two like horniest actors are playing what are now the horniest characters.
I'm here for it.
And just, do you want to stay and talk about it, John?
I also was not expecting them to get together at any point. For like based on season 1 into season 2, like it just felt like the wildest choice, but also like
They've been building up on it all season.
They've
I
been
just didn't
building up
expect
on
them
it all
to-
season, but the end of last season, like Dargo is definitely starting to have pretty big eyes for Aaron, and I thought that they were going to play with that more at the
I
beginning.
never
of the
thought
feel
he
like-
had eyes for Aaron. He definitely had eyes for Zan at the beginning.
between that and the way they set up the dynamic of Crichton and Chiana, it made me feel like they were setting her up to be more of a kid sister type of character than
He kind of is. She kind of is for Crichton.
and I feel like that's what they just like set up multifaceted character dynamics between
Honestly,
It's
the
Molly Carpenter.
oh my god, yeah. Honestly, the description I heard is this is the galaxy's most chaotic polycule in space is maybe the best representation of the relationships in
It's
this.
not wrong.
Crichton has kissed every woman on board multiple times, and all of them would be at least a little bit willing to have sex with him. And
Yeah.
Dargo might too. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, actually not sure on that one.
I'm with Gianna, John. Like, but that's really his problem there. It doesn't sound like, no, I wouldn't have sex. Like, I'm taken. Otherwise, yes. Like,
I'm getting some good over there.
Some amazing John, you don't know how good the sex is.
you
John.
should have not said no at the end of season 1. Chiana is maybe the weak link in this one, though, because she is kind of used as, I don't want to say a prop, but like either because she's having sex with Dargo and there's a bit of that, or she's the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
So, doing the little bit of research that I did in the past 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of makes a little bit of sense to me, just based on the fact that this story was one of the loose collections of ideas that they did have at the origin of this series.
Okay.
And it was kind of like, this is a story I want to do from the beginning. And it was just now that they finally got around to doing it. And so I'm guessing when this story was originally thought up,
Chiana wasn't part of the cast yet.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense.
And just kind of needed to fit her in somewhere.
yeah. And it sounds like the original concept for this idea was supposed to be a little bit more like, what did they say? Kind of a fairy tale. Crichton gets married, has a child, and is a statue for 80 years. And then he pitched it to a freelance writer who didn't want to do it and was like, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
Okay. And it got weird. Maybe the best acted scene in the show so far is, or top 2. One of them is when
Good
Aaron-
news and bad news.
that's the best delivered line in this show. No, I was
Yes.
gonna
Yes.
you've been married, you're about to turn into a statue for 80 years. You will never see anyone you know or love again. Gianna and I are having really amazing sex. Like, yeah, buddy.
It's
We
just-
know.
It's such a good recurring bit throughout the whole episode that it's just these 3 episodes of just like, good for you, Dargo. I'm glad you're getting some of that good.
Also, man, it's got to be hard to be a Luxon with like all of those tentacles around his head being as sensitive as they are, because he's either grabbing them in an immense pain or she's just like licking them and he comes in his pants. Like, there's no in between.
I feel like Luxons are very much into some pain play. I feel like S&M would be
100%.
very vanilla for them, I feel. That's missionary. That's standard. That's foreplay.
Okay. One of the best acted scenes, though, and I've already mentioned it, is the one where Crichton is just completely losing his shit against Lieutenant, I think his name is Braca. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. The references.
He's shooting
Blazing
me.
Saddles. Like, I'm gonna shoot the white boy. So dumb.
I did not catch that.
And then he does he doesn't do the game over, but he says the rest of the quote from Hudson from Aliens.
You never want to.
When he's like freaking out, yeah.
Just.
Or there's something like, well, he doesn't say game over, but it's like, it's all done with, man. It's go.
It's just fun with, because I will shoot you. And he's like, you literally just told me that you need me alive. You can't. And they don't know his biology well enough to know how much he can just like shoot him in the leg or whatever. And so he just unleashes. And without giving too much away, kind of gives some hints in the direction that Crichton is going for basically the rest of the series. I think they just watched Ben Browder act unhinged and were like, we need so much more of this.
Although this does get like in this scene, like the way he escapes this does bring up questions for me of like,
I don't think they know how space works.
I don't think they know how space works, but they also definitely know how space works because Zan has a fucking vision of his face like getting ripped through his face, like she sees him die in a couple of things and basically depressurizes in his spacesuit, and he doesn't do anything remotely close to that.
No, that spacewalk thing. It was kind of cool, but also it was.
Wait, no, guys. Humans can actually survive in space for up to a minute. It's just that they're going to have extremely deleterious effects on their health. We can make it out there. Like that was actually one of the more accurate bits.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
Didn't know.
I guess I don't know how space works.
And then by the way, for anyone listening, you don't freeze, you boil, because of the way that like liquid affects due to no pressure.
Oh shit!
That I did know. I guess they're just gonna write off that he survived that by like the weird little clear mask he was wearing, countering the deleterious effects of.
Yeah, I think that like that's why the very next scene he was all like super hooked up, like getting that medical done.
He just
they don't explain what's happening, but like,
oh yeah, we're gonna fix all the things you just did to yourself.
That is like 90% of Zan's job on this show. Where was I? Oh, the alien servant thing looks straight out of 2005 Doctor Who.
Oh, 100%.
Fuck, how did I not mention? We got to back up really quick I can mention that the body swap aliens were just armored Skeksis.
You're
How
100%
did we not mention
right.
the Skeksis? You're right.
I thought of Skeksis when I was watching it, but I didn't think about it until just...
It might have been the Skeksis that they just put shit on. Like, we have the puppets.
That makes sense now. Holy shit. That's funny. I bet it was Skeksis.
Also, Skeksis are some of the best puppets the Henson Company ever came out with.
Or they just reused...
So like,
they've probably reused parts of the ways they made the Skeksis at the very least, if it's not a full-on Skeksis puppet.
I think from what I'm not going to go all the way back to what I was reading before. It doesn't sound like it was a full-on Skeksis, and one of the producers was like, no, it's not Skeksis, but the puppet designer was like, oh yeah, no, I totally did Skeksis.
Yeah, but I imagine they probably used some of the same parts that were used on Skeksis, if not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than the Gelflings, you could pretty much just drop Dark Crystal in the world of Farscape as like, here's a weird planet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, just be okay.
Anyway, back to the... where were you when I got you off topic?
She just like...
Oh, very much looks like one of the servants on the fucking episode of Doctor Who where they see the end of the Earth.
Yeah, she looks like the
technicians.
The little bug lady that was helping out. I was thinking of the little bug lady that was helping out the master when he didn't know he was the master.
Oh, and I was thinking of the technicians on the platform.
Oh, just the little blue guys?
Yeah.
It's very... Yeah. It's good, though. She does a great job of being weird, but kind of still believable.
I was trying to figure out what scenes were added, since this was originally a two-parter where they added 14 scenes. And it sounds like the only two things that I was able to ascertain for certain was that one of the things that was added was the actual wedding sequence. That would have been cut for time in the original two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been weird.
I think they probably would have covered some of that info differently. I don't
Sure.
know.
I just like
Or just like, and now you're married.
And it seems like her part was expanded, but they don't say how.
Interesting.
okay.
And like they don't say what scenes or anything, but that originally her part was smaller than what it ended up being.
Okay. Fair enough. I do feel for the princess in this one.
Especially since they poisoned her DNA so that literally nobody on the fucking planet is a viable candidate for her to have kids with. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want to be rude. Everyone wears too much makeup on this planet.
Also, yes.
also, yes.
Sorry, way off top. I just completely derailed you there. But
Unless you're a peacekeeper spy.
her shit makes no sense. She starts with, like, if you don't become king and ally with these Scarens and get the power, I won't marry you. But then it turns out that she and her Assassin's Creed blade
Which
Art-
was dope.
yeah,
that was dope.
Very sick.
are trying to keep him from getting too much power to keep this planet from joining the Scarens. So her plot makes no sense. And then she randomly fucks Crichton when she realizes that he's not another Peacekeeper agent. And I realize that the Peacekeepers are very, if I'm attracted to you, I can have sex with you. But, like, it still was...
This is hilarious. That's the one other note that I have, like the one other like little bit of trivia I have from these episodes. The sex scene between Jenna and Crichton took 4 hours to shoot.
It was like 2 scenes, like 2 shots.
And like,
The network,
it's a cutaway. Did they shoot a lot more footage that didn't get used?
It was
the
just them making
network
out.
wanted them to do it as sexy and as sensual as they could, but the people on set didn't want it to make it just softcore porn. So they basically spent 4 hours figuring out how to do a scene that pushed the limits for what was on television at the time, but wasn't like late night Showtime.
They did a decent job.
They did a decent job, but also, why did the network feel they wanted that?
Sci-Fi Channel's fucking weird, man.
I mean,
Also, I don't know how Australian television rolls
Yeah,
on
me
that
either.
front, so I can't comment.
nothing is horny enough.
I believe that.
Oh, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know if Australia
Yeah.
believes that.
That said, in the same way that Dargo desperately needed to come really hard, I think Crichton just really needed to come really hard too. Because he doesn't get less insane here, but he gets a lot more like focused and time to get stuff done.
Post nut clarity.
Yeah, like 100%. Like,
Yeah, he got his head cut off. He needed cane. He needed to come.
he's needed to for a while now.
For like, theoretically, we don't think he's had sex since Aaron.
And they never really talked about that, and that was a pretty traumatic time to have sex because he thought that like he was on the run for the rest of his life on a planet that now hates him.
And Rigel and Dargo are and Zan are all probably dead.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like
So weird bone.
he's like, she's like, okay, it's time. I came in a lake. Lake sex kind of weird. I'm not super fan of water sex, but whatever. It seems to work for them. Neither one of us are like, we're super attracted to each other, but neither one of us are holding any illusions about this, so we can have this little
Mhm.
fling. Like, I actually, like, as much as it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, I think Crichton needed it badly enough that I don't really care. And I'm like, good for you, buddy.
That's about where I'm at with it.
And then they just kind of like end it.
The Scarran kidnaps Chia.
Oh, yeah. That whole thing.
I liked the
Scorpius
the
suit's
tense.
all blue here.
I was about to say I like the tense having to work with Scorpius for a bit there.
I will say this added a lot for me for Scorpius of like forcing him to work with them. The illusion that like Scorpius definitely feels like he's a lot by the end of this whole thing. Scorpius is probably someone you guys should not be fucking with.
Scorpius, they do a good job when he does appear. He always feels dangerous. Crace didn't by like appearance 3.
Yeah.
Like, and it definitely feels
earlier.
like us as viewers know that we should be fucking. You guys are fucked when Scorpius is around. It's like that they definitely show you a little bit more of like, oh, he was fucked. Oh, he's fucked with you. Oh, you guys are fucked.
Well, and stuff like earlier on, Crichton's like, I hear him in my head. He's in there in the back. And you're like, oh, okay, like trauma from the chair. But then he honestly hears Scorpius's voice telling him to escape the exploding ship in the earlier scene we were talking about. And then like he decides not to kill Scorpius, and they make it look like Scorpius is about to die, really dangerous. And then after that, Scorpius just kind of like cleans himself off and like plays with the acid. Like it doesn't.
Like that was all show for John.
It keeps Scorpius dangerous in a way that very few villains are able to pull off.
Yeah. I really liked that. All that bit at the end with all of them. I loved all of that. It was great.
Why does Scorpius, Crichton definitely should have killed Scorpius. And there's like kind of, why didn't he? But also, as weird as that was, I thought that like
it feels like a moral superiority moment.
There is a Crichton thing about
like,
it that like
I'm too good to just kill you.
If I'm gonna be the bigger man, I know what you would do right here.
But also, no, I could put you in this situation where I could kill you. Type bullshit.
I like it. It would have felt weird to have the main hero just like shove his head in acid. It also would have been really funny to do that and then have him be like, put me back in. That felt good. And be like, oh, fuck. Oh, god damn it.
Like, I needed to be exfoliated.
Like, is Scorpius still alive? If he is, don't come back out with him alive, or whatever the line was. And I'm like, damn, Dargo, you are focused on Chiana. Usually you would have just been like, Hoot!
Yeah, it's weird that Dargo didn't just do that. Dargo
just dived across a thing of acid to catch his...
Dargo has post-nut obscurity.
Post-nut focus.
Pre-nut focus.
Another nut.
Another nut.
But other thing that we have not talked about at all, we have to talk about at least a little bit, is Zan in these episodes. There's only like 3 scenes, so it's not a huge bit.
I mean, yeah, the subplot is that she's still on Moya, and the Moya fucking goes and meets her gods?
Yeah.
My favorite part of that god is clearly the guy who voices Rigel, because he does not change his voice. So there's a couple of points where he says something, and I'm like, Rigel's not... Oh, right, yeah, okay.
That was the parts I checked out the most. I wanted to like them more because it's a really interesting idea, and then as it kept going on, I was like, I wonder
how much those were added in to fill out the
time.
I would not be surprised if they added that, like the whole function of that, like
because it would have been easy enough to she starbursted away, and it took time to get back,
but like.
Not 3 episodes to get back. That would have been a bit harder to land. That said, when she fucking kidnaps the god by like putting him through the fan,
that was a badass move.
I was like, well, love what's happening here. Anytime Zan waffles between like, I am enlightened and a good person, and I will blow up this entire goddamn city block
just to prove how enlightened and fucking great I am. But I do also like that, like it. I felt like this was one of the things I was talking about earlier, of where it sets up her as being a little bit more of like a bit of an arbiter for the ship. in
Yeah.
itself of like not necessarily like a captain but like somewhat of like there to make sure everything is ship shape is going to be actually the one making sure shit gets done and things that shouldn't get done like more talents doesn't get done.
It gives her a role that she's kind of been lacking this season. That said, as much as I enjoyed, like, oh, it turns out Pilot really wants Zan to stay on board so they can sing and stuff. Her singing was just like the one note high pitched.
I was like, all right, Yoko.
And then, like, Zan, sing for me. And I'm like, yeah, sing for. Nope, still just doing the one note. Just.
The intonation on the sing for me, I was like, Phantom of the Opera?
Angel of music.
Sing for me, angel of music. Anyway.
This show is wild because it's deeply uncomfortable and horny, but not in a way that, like, cancels out either one. But as downer of a show as it is, we've laughed while talking through this more than we have most things that we watch. Like,
Oh yeah, I enjoy it a lot. It's interesting to.
it's hard to pin down.
It's very hard to pin down.
Mhm.
It is very much of an era that does not exist, and it also feels like it's in a transitional era of TV, where in which it's both something sentimentality of an older type of television show, but also edging into a new realm of viewing style.
Well, I mean, this was coming out during Stargate SG-1. It was canceled for Tremors, the TV show.
Gotta love fucking Tremors.
Yeah, but the people were not happy about that.
Was Tremors the TV show good?
Doesn't matter, it's Tremors.
And maybe we'll have to do Tremors sometime.
God, I fucking love Tremors.
I fucking love the first Tremors. I don't know anything beyond the first two really well, but
then my point is, like, after Farscape, the next big sci-fi epic that Sci-Fi Channel did, which was kind of where you got space opera, was probably Battlestar Galactica. It was either
Sounds
that or
right.
Stargate Atlantis, but like that was just kind of
and Stargate
continue
Atlantis
the
didn't
trend.
have nearly as much of a cultural threshold as I feel
no,
like
but like
Battlestar did.
Farscape ends.
Other than Jason Momoa.
Yeah, fucking real.
Like that's his biggest
Cannot get over that.
touchstone.
Farscape ends, Battlestar begins, and it's not as even as that, but like it really is.
That pretty well lines up, though.
Yeah, like, you're right. It is transitional era, and while Battlestar Galactica was popular, it wasn't as like barn burner popular as a lot of shows are out now. But it changed how science fiction is told.
Fuck, Beastar is so good, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not arguing that. I just like
just pointing it out. I fucking love that
also,
show.
it's fucking wild to think of sci-fi going, so we did the most colorful, weird alien thing ever. So now we're going to do Battlestar Galactica, where everything's kind of gray, and we're not allowed to show aliens. Like, the tonal shift between those two shows.
Oof, and it gets dark and heavy.
I mean, so is this show, but very different way. Very different kind of dark and heavy. Drop Scorpius in the middle of Battlestar Galactica and just see what happens.
Yeah, fucking.
Did we miss anything? I don't know if I have anything else on this.
Crichton's look is so much better this season as he's wearing more of the, like, peacekeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. That is a good look.
Yeah, that's about it, though.
All right.
I just wanted to make sure we got it all.
No,
That's all.
you're good.
Not to rush or anything.
Next time we're gonna do this again.
Yeah, the last half of the season.
No, it's just the same. Just the same.
Fuck off.
We're gonna cover the first half again. See if you found some new insights.
We will just release this episode like 6 times to give us a break and see if anyone notices. How many people actually watch this show? None after that.
Oof.
In the meantime, no, we're going to do the second half. In the meantime, we're your generals of nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
Dismissed.
Hi everybody, General Tyler here. If you like the show, please hit subscribe however you're listening to us right now. Also, if you could rate and review us however you're listening to us right now, or preferably over at Apple Podcasts, we would super appreciate it, as the whole world is ran on algorithms, and we want to be all up in them, getting our voice out to more places. Also, tell your friends. We always appreciate that. If you want to get in contact with us, ask us questions, give us comments, email us generalnerderypod@gmail.com. You can also contact us through our website, www.generalnerdcast.com. While you're there, check out all of our back catalog, or click the links up at the top, as we are part of the Earworm Podcast Network. Go check out all of our sister shows. We're involved with most of them, so if you already like listening to us talk, it might be in your best interest. And if you want to check out everything from the network, head over to earworm.com, EARVVYRM.com. We'd super appreciate it. Love you all. Have a good one.